It's
now.
women pairs.
Okay, we're going live now.
I think it's women pairs.
We're live.
Men,
You don't
no,
need to go
women
through it.
ice dance, men pairs.
Yes, this is the order. Yes.
You need to give me more of a
Hello,
warning
everyone.
before you do this.
I try to give you a warning, but you are very engaged in your conversation. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this week's stream. We will talk about Skate Canada.
Yes, we will.
Have you guys tweeted about it? That we are live
I've
now?
just tweeted now, yeah.
Okay, perfect. We are waiting for people to come in. I hope everybody enjoyed the last 2 days? 3 days. 3 days.
3 days.
2 days and then the gala today, so yeah, 3 days.
Okay. And please leave comments if you want to say something, if you want to ask something.
And please subscribe if you're not already.
Please do.
Yes. And also, please just talk to us. We're having
Yes.
a good time.
Let us know you're here.
What are you drinking today?
I am drinking tea because I have poor circulation, so my hands are cold.
Oh, that's fair.
To be fair, it's unseasonably warm this time of year.
Thank you.
Tell that to
Thank
my
you.
hands.
I put in so much effort into this week's drink because I'm embarrassed that last week I messed up the joke. So I made a cocktail. And Sarah was like, this looks like Midnight Blues. So I created a cocktail and we're calling it Midnight Blues. And it looks like this. Cheers.
Very nice. Looks very Halloween themed, which is also the inspiration behind my darker makeup this week. Nobody else joined me.
No.
I don't wear makeup.
You said it 2 hours ago.
True.
I was lost. Okay. Shall we start? I feel like we should.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can do.
Stunning. It does look very good. I agree.
As long as it's not on my teeth, which you won't be able to see anyway.
This is such a nice podium.
It is. I love the podium. So in gold, we have Rinka Watanabe in her first ever Grand Prix. In silver, we have Star Andrews. And in bronze, we have Young Yu.
Yes. What a chaotic women's event.
Sorry.
Quick question here. Are we in England? I am.
I am as well.
Elli is not.
I'm in Germany. It's currently 11:30.
Did the tea give it away?
Did the tea give it away? Probably.
I don't drink tea, so I wouldn't give it away. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about the women. This was a wild competition in terms of the difference between the short program and the free program.
The women are many, and it is a very chaotic time at the moment.
Also, the fact that, I mean, people were very kind of focused on the ordinals after the short program, but the scores were actually all very close. And so it did leave room for a lot of movement in the free.
Very true. Very true. I think, so first after the short program was Madeline Jesus. Second after the short program, so Madeline ended up in 7th place. Second after the short program was Gabby Delman. She ended up in 10th place. And third after the short program was Ava Marie Ziegler, who ended up in 4th place, and she just had like less than a week's notice.
Yeah. I think it was
to
Sunday
be assigned
or Saturday.
I think she got told. So I mean, pretty amazing debut for her.
And she just won her first challenger like 2 weeks ago. I'm not surprised Rika didn't make the podium because she doesn't have all her jumps back yet. She did an incredible job to come 5th. Did she come 5th? She did come 5th. Yeah, she was 3rd in the free. But yeah, she did an incredible job to get the results she did. She had a perfect free skate. She didn't make any mistakes apart from she had a tiny little stumble, but that wasn't in an element, so it didn't count. But yeah, it was great. It was a great result for her, and she looked really happy.
I think the scoring. I think a lot of us aren't used to seeing scores without inflation for some people, so it's very weird to see like women's scores now, I think.
Also, like, Canada's not usually one of the federations that does blatant inflation, so that's kind of what it felt like after the short program, having first and second being Canada. It was like, are these scores correct? Because I do think particularly Rinka was robbed in the short program for her score, and Young as well, probably. But it all kind of changed around in the free anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for Star, I think.
I'm so happy for Star.
So
like,
happy.
This is no offense to the fact that she was in my group 4 in fantasy, because I'm just used to Star not placing highly at events. Usually she's in the second half of results, so it's not a slight on her. I just did not expect her to have a result this great.
And obviously she didn't either with her reaction.
She didn't either. She was very shocked. But I'm so proud of her. And I really think now that she had her surgery in the off season that it's really hopefully going to change her career around.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Star was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia, which is the sudden elevation of your heart rate. And obviously competing like she does, it's a very
in like
serious
a high pressure
thing.
sport.
Last year at the French Grand Prix, she had to I think it was the French one, she had to withdraw because of her heart. In the off season, she had surgery to sort of help that. I can't remember what exactly the surgery was, but obviously this is a great step in the right direction, and just like always rooting for her. And also there is the sort of top places in US women are now up for grabs, so it's really awesome to see what she can do.
And Karen's not competing. We don't know how Brady is yet, because obviously she's had another ankle injury and she's not competed yet. Alyssa is retired. It's going to be very wide open.
This could be her year.
You could assume Isabeau will be up there, but other than that, I mean, because you'd also assume Lindsay would have been up there, but Lindsay didn't have a great competition, so you have no idea what could happen.
So this was a new competition. So we saw new programs. Which one was your favorite? Which one did you enjoy in the women's event?
Ooh,
don't like being put on the spot.
Interesting question. It was really nice. Gabby's short was really good.
What is it? Like, what is she skating to?
She did Diamonds.
Diamonds by Rihanna.
Which is a nice, like, it's not even like a shocking choice for her, because it feels like it fits perfectly, but it does tend to do a lot of kind of like classical stuff, so she does a lot of war horses, so it's nice to see her do something more modern, and it seemed to fit her really well. I'd love to obviously see her free clean, because it didn't go well. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see that at her second competition, but yeah, it was a really interesting competition, just because obviously some of the programs we've seen before. I love Rinka's free. I think she really embodies the characters of her programs really well, which is why I think she was a bit underscored in the short program. I also love Young's programs this season. I think they are the best set of programs that she's ever had, in my opinion. I wish the judges would go with them, but yeah, especially her short, the tango, I think is just absolutely gorgeous on her.
You're a big Young fan.
I love Young.
Did Sarah name one, or was it? Oh, it's a Diamonds.
Mine was.
She named Rinka as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, want to talk about the next slide, which is.
Oh yes, the drama at the end of the free skate.
So after Maddie performed her free skate, there was. She went over to speak to the judges, the referee, and then she said, "I'm gonna go look for it." And we're like, "What's happening?"
What?
And she picks up this vial thing, which looks like a test tube of vial. It's apparently used to keep stems for flowers that were being thrown on the ice. And obviously, when something was thrown on the ice, maybe escaped before, maybe it was even on the ice when Gabby skated. Like, we don't know how long it was there realistically. It obviously came undone, and I can't speak for how much it affected her skate, because I don't know.
We don't know when she saw it, but
yeah, obviously not a good thing to have.
And if she'd have run into that, she could have been seriously injured. It's not good that like, I know they've during COVID they had the whole rule of don't throw anything on the ice because of COVID. Not that COVID's over, but the rules have changed. So now it's just like, kind of like a free for all again. It's just like throw things on the ice kind of thing. It's fine to throw like stuffed things. Why are you throwing anything that has a water vial attached to it?
I think it's also interesting because I think it was Finlandia. They said stuff was banned from being thrown on the ice.
Yeah,
Finlandia or
different rules in
Lombardia.
different places. Yeah, I think Finlandia.
Yeah, but
I know that apparently on the Skate Canada tickets they literally said, you know, you can bring things to throw or whatever. And they maybe need to be a bit stricter about the rules for that kind of thing. Like, there's no reason for you to have that.
Yeah, I think it was just an unfortunate like the chain of events, because the person probably didn't think that it would deattach. Then the kids didn't see it, the little skaters.
Yeah, I mean, who can blame them? they're tiny little children. So also, it would be interesting to know. Obviously, I don't think she was asked about it. I haven't heard that she was asked about it. It would be interesting to know if Maddie did see it during the program, if she knew that she could have stopped the program and not get a deduction or anything, because it was a safety issue. It's not the same as if you have like a skate coming undone and you get an interruption for that. You can stop the program, make them, get that out of the way, and then restart from where you stopped. But also that throws off your momentum in a program as well. So there's nothing to say that would have been better for her.
And I also feel like when you skate in a competition, you are so focused, you probably don't think, "Oh, I can stop now." You probably think about what you have to do next.
Yeah. Agree.
Obviously a disappointing result for her, considering she was in first after the short, but hopefully her second Grand Prix goes better.
I read somewhere that she did see it and skate by it a few times. They didn't want to stop because when you said it throws off the momentum. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
You just see me surreptitiously change my headphones because one was running out of battery.
Oh no, bad timing.
Yeah, battery low. I'm like, quick, change.
So there's this comment by Sharon. Was there no US stream? Because you said we have had a stream in Europe.
So the only way you can watch this on Peacock. Yep. So Peacock have exclusive rights to figure skating this season. And basically,
I don't know if NBC shows some of them for like.
And there's like a whole calendar. It switches between 4 different channels. It's a whole thing with the US.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's frustrating because you have to essentially pay to watch it. The only suggestion that we'd have for that is to find a free VPN. I think, and I retweeted one on my personal account. There's 3. I think it's Proton VPN, and switch it to a European country. Maybe I think that's a free one. I think the Netherlands is a free option. But yeah, paying to watch something that you essentially can't watch.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know why we had a YouTube live stream this week, because usually we don't.
I think it's NBC because they copyrighted almost like everything they could. And they copyrighted some TikToks even. So I think that was NBC, and I think we're in the clear now for
Eurosport that we didn't get any YouTube streams, but this week we did, which was
no. I think it was just an NBC thing now, and
interesting.
Fingers crossed. I can't touch any wood, but fingers crossed we're in the clear. Peacock does stream for certain events, but not sure for Canada.
I know they were having an issue as well. That I know the CBC stream died a couple of times, and I think maybe I don't know if the Peacock one did as well, but I know there was an issue where some of the streams were like cutting out, and like they had to like quickly like switch over to the YouTube stream. Mark suddenly took over for Ted at one point. Although even the ISU stream died at the beginning of Ice Dance.
Oh, I remember that. That was
Mark was just kind of awkwardly sat there going, I don't know what to say. There's nothing on the screen.
What a great segue.
This was perfect.
We'll move on to
Thank you, Lois.
This one's
in first place was Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier. In second place was Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson of Great Britain. And in third place was Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Lega winning
me
their
pretend-
first Grand Prix medal. I'm
We'll
big
pretend I'm
Marshall
not
and Zach
biased.
fans.
We'll pretend we're not biased.
Oh,
towards
I'm
them.
incredibly
This is a
biased.
very
I love
cute
them.
picture.
Yeah.
This is a very cute picture.
It
Please,
is
Lois.
very cute. And Zach is actually smiling for once.
Thank you. I was waiting for that comment. When I put that picture on the slide, I was like, Lois is going to comment on this.
We do affectionately call them like Sunshine and Vampire.
Yes.
But he's not really a vampire anymore because he has a tan now.
And he's smiling. So
And he's smiling.
He's turned up for the rhythm dance. But yeah, it was an interesting scoring event, I'd say.
It was quite high, but it tends to go quite high if there is a Canadian frontrunner.
Also true. So we had Piper and Paul with 87 after the rhythm dance, which I think is the highest scoring
It
rhythm
was
dance this season so far.
Slightly above Queen Out of Fabrice from Lombardia.
And obviously, both home boost countries, so take it with a grain of salt. In second place, Lewis Gibson 83 after the
She's
rhythm
a couple
dance.
of marks down from, was it Nebelhorn?
Yeah.
Which is where they got their big score.
Caroline Green and Michael Parsons just finished third after the rhythm dance, and Marjorie and Zach were behind in fourth, but they did have a 1 point deduction.
Few errors.
Because it's always a lift deduction.
Somebody get the stopwatch. Somebody take Barbara's stopwatch.
I'm going to send coaches stopwatches because there's always lift deductions and they can so easily be avoided.
I mean, Barbara avoids them. Queen Barbara.
Exactly. I'd love one day for if someone docks them an extended lift, she'll be with her stopwatch, I recorded it.
No,
I've got
it
this.
was not.
That would be so funny.
After the error that they made with Rinka's score in the short program, you never know what the computers are doing or what is going on, because obviously we didn't mention that before, but they didn't give Rinka her third jumping pass bonus. So the score was revised later on that night and she went up about half a point-ish. She didn't change places, but she went up about half a point. So you never know when the panel are going to mess up something.
I mean, it would change figure skating scores. Fantasy skating scores quite a bit.
It would make a difference. Were Green Person robbed? This score was a hell of a lot better than their debut. Was it Finlandia? Their debut was
Finlandia.
Yeah, a hell of a lot better than the score they got there. They figured out a lot of the level issues they had. Obviously, they said themselves there's still improvements they want to make to get to a higher score, because they finished 4 continents last year with about 200, and obviously they want to get back to that score. And that would really put them in contention regarding the American battle at nationals if they manage to get up to that score from where they are right now. But yeah, I wouldn't say they were robbed, because I think they had a good scoring, and I'm very glad that Marjorie and Zach came in third. So I'm not going to say Green and Parsons were robbed, in my opinion.
But... yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be the first time we've had Charlie and Tanith at the same competition.
I think so.
Because I've seen each of them dotted around at different competitions, but I don't think I've seen them both together.
Yeah, I think Tanith, it's the first time Tanith was there, maybe. We've seen Charlie at competitions.
Yeah, I think she's I've seen her at one. It might have been, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the one where Molly and Yeehor were at. The one where they didn't do very well. That. But I do remember seeing her at one point.
Oh, Nebelhorn.
I don't remember. It might have been
because he got to see his family in Germany, Nebelhorn, they were.
Yeah, it might have been that one. Yeah.
Marjorie and Zach was so great. Hope that rhythm dance is better the next outing, but Nureyev looks so great in person. Oh my gosh, the free dance was a moment.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time there's been a proper moment with a free dance for me. And I know we had some of our people on Discord. You can sign up to our Patreon and join us on Discord. But yeah, we had some people on our Patreon who were really in love with that free dance.
and who were at the competition as well. So
Yeah.
that was really awesome. Yeah, I love the free dance. And I think the rhythm dance has a lot of potential. They said after in the mix zone that, they weren't happy with it, and they know they have a lot to improve on.
I know Zach had a little stumble at one point, though he did a really good job of engaging the crowd as well when they were like near the boards.
He has improved on that so much. I have been a big fan of the two since the 18-19 season, when they won Junior Worlds, and I think if you sort of go back and watch some of the programs in that season compared to now, you can see Zach's performance improve drastically.
He was much more reserved back then.
Yeah. I think they said that the styles they've done in recent years haven't been their favorite, but I think it's helped with their performance side a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, they did that Queen program, I think, which was their first year as seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were very surprised by that program the first time we saw it. We were like, oh, this is very different, considering we were used to them from doing Warsaw Concerto when they were juniors. It's like completely the opposite. But you could see over the course of that program, like over the season, how much it changed the way they responded to the audience and how much they projected. So yeah, I think it's been a help for them.
I think that the disco program last year, it's so fun and like obviously very different style. So contrasting sort of the disco theme that they had last year to the themes that they have this year, I really love the balance.
Yeah, I'm so glad they've gone back to the classical kind of thing. I think combined with the fact that Zach is obviously a musician and a piano player, I think that really is like not necessarily a safe place for them to be at, but it's where they thrive.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else we want to talk about? We just spent the whole time talking about Marjorie and Zach. I did like. I know a lot of people don't like Pie from Paul's rhythm dance and that it isn't very Latin, or that's the consensus we saw a lot of on Twitter. I did quite like the way they performed it. I like it better than Chuck and Bates right now. But neither of those programs are very Latin.
I think it's sad that there aren't more Latin programs. Like, there is a whole continent of music that could have been used, and we're using, English speaking, like English songs with extra beats behind. Like,
there's a lot of throwing in a backing
point.
track. There's a lot of putting in a backing track that has like some maracas or a drum beat or whatever, just to kind of make it Latin sounding. And sometimes it's just not effective, and it just feels kind of false and phony. And it's funny because there are a lot of kind of European teams who are all kind of using the same music.
Wicked Game.
Why is Wicked Game being used?
Why is that Latin?
It's not Latin.
People
there's
have that.
I think there's three. There might be three. I know there's at least two, but I feel like there's three. And I'm like, why are you using Wicked Game with like a backing track behind it? This is not Latin.
Yeah, but I think it's like a bigger problem with like appealing to the judges more than.
I know.
I think that's part of it. It's just a shame that there is like so much good music out there and very little of it's being used. Very little to almost none.
And it's not just that it's not being used, there's a lack of creativity in the coaching camps in regards to searching out that kind of music. Because they're all kind of,
you would stand out.
A lot of them are using the same kind of thing.
You would really stand out just from that alone.
Yeah.
If you picked different music to everybody else.
I will say at least Fear and Gibson are using kind of Latin music. It's very kind of mainstream Latin, but it is Latin.
It's Mark Anthony, isn't it?
Yeah, and a bit of J-Lo as well. It's mainstream Latin, but it is Latin.
Should we move on to men? How are we feeling?
Anything else we wanted to say about Ice Dance?
I feel like...
did we want to mention very briefly the collision in warm-up?
Oh.
Which was quite dramatic. I'm very glad that Maria Nosovitsky, I'm probably pronouncing that badly, the Israeli girl, was not injured, because there was quite a smack of Molly Sezenak and Yeho Yehorov. And he's a big guy as well. I think she kind of like took a hard knock to the ground. But they performed first after the warm up, and she had a tiny little stumble at the end of the rhythm dance, but she seemed mostly unharmed, thankfully. But yeah, that was quite a shocking moment. Glad everyone's all right.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's good.
Okay. I see that point. Yeah, we'll move on, but I see your point. They kind of have one kind of performance lane that do Joyce and Poirier when it comes to that kind of cheesy kind of performance.
Let's talk about men.
Let's.
In gold, we have Shoma Uno. In silver, we have Kai Miura, back-to-back weeks. And in bronze, we have Matteo Rizzo.
Where the men Manning is the question.
The men
bottom half.
so extremely heavily in the short program that literally only Cal was clean. Literally only Cal.
All but 2 men had deductions in the short program.
Oh my god.
Does that describe it enough?
Yeah, I just saw the reactions on Twitter.
To shout out to Skating Scores, which Mark Henretti also did on the live stream. This may have been the least personal best or season's best competition for men ever in the history of since 2010. It's just I was just perplexed. Every single person who came out, it's just either a pop or a fall or.
Sorry, I was reacting to Evelyn because, as they say, the only thing consistent about men is how inconsistent they are, and that's just like a general life motto. But yeah,
yes. In the free was better. A lot of them had much more steady performances. There were a couple of them who did not go so well. Dennis, we are sorry. Comrade, we are sorry. But yeah, besides them, it evened itself out a bit more. World champion Shoma Uno, as one would have predicted, got the gold. So
he didn't. I was looking at the protocol. It's interesting because he didn't have the cleanest skate.
No, but it's just the content and the PCS, isn't it?
Yeah, the content sort of helps him with that, and obviously PCS. I think he had like a 7.8 on PCS,
which isn't surprising.
Yeah.
I know Evelyn really liked Cal's free skate because she's told us that before. But I like seeing it for the second time this week. I really like it now. I think I know a lot of people are not as in love with it and don't love the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack, but I really like it. And I think it's really good for him.
I think it's that, and some people don't like the specific selection of music that he has.
I think it builds well. I think it's good for him, but each to their own. Also, I know a lot of people were quite worried about him in the free program because I don't remember which jumping pass it was on. It was maybe 2 or 3. He took quite a hard fall, and people were wondering if he hit his head in the program. And we are big proponents of protocol changes in this sport. That if a skater hits their head, we think the program should be stopped.
Blow it dead right then.
Blow the whistle dead straight away. Get them checked out, and if they can continue, they can continue. But as I also made this point on Twitter regarding the technical difficulties in the women's short program as well, in that the ISU doesn't care if technical difficulties hold up the competition and delay the time schedule, but apparently if somebody falls in a program, that doesn't matter. Or if somebody's laces break and they have to take a deduction because they have to fix their lace for a few minutes, then they get penalized for that. But I'm of the opinion that things should be particularly changed when it comes to the protocols and head injuries.
Matteo Rizzo has 2 of my favorite program combinations.
I saw people some people didn't like them, but I do like them.
I like. Listen,
people don't like the Bruno Mars. So.
What is he skating to?
His short is the same from last year, which is Munskin. Yeah. It's fun. I love it.
His free skate is a Bruno Mars medley. I think the thing is, Matteo was going on such a good trajectory about 2019. And then
when he did Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff.
Yes. And then I think COVID happened after, or maybe this was just before. I think the start of the 1920 season didn't go to the best start, and then he sort of lost it along the way.
And he changed
I
coaches for a while.
Yeah, I
And
think
it
these are
didn't
two
work.
programs that are helping him find his groove again, which is
Also,
why I like it, because
Guadeloupe in the free.
because when you watch him skate, you can see him enjoying his skating. And I think that's very evident. He was hyping the crowd up in the free skate. The short program is a very, like, the crowd need to clap along to it. Hopefully they do at his next competition. I know Lois tweeted that the crowd was a bit dead over the short program.
I'm not insulting the crowd. I'm not used to the crowd being so dead for Manskin.
Because you
Usually, as
clap
soon as that
with
music
that
change
song.
happens, it goes. It's like as soon as that music change happens and it kicks in,
It's the
crowd
step
usually are
sequence.
with it.
It's a
And
hype
it's so
song.
quiet. And people said like they were depressed because every man was flopping, and I get that.
So sassy, love it. And I love it when they're sassy.
He feels comfortable in these programs.
Yeah, when like you can see a skater smiling through a program, when you see them just really enjoying it, that makes me happy. So I like seeing that. Moving on to
do we want to talk about that now?
Yes,
This moment?
This very precious moment happened. After the short program announcement, Keegan was in the kiss and cry. We're like, awesome. We know Wyatt's at the competition. Maybe we'll see like a Wyatt photo.
I would have loved if Wyatt had been in the kiss and cry for one of those.
I thought maybe he'll be around.
And then suddenly we're just getting a freaking sonogram.
Like, oh my gosh. I screamed. Well, I didn't scream, so I was in like my bedroom. But
I thought you were going to say you screenshotted it, because you did. You sent me that.
Yes,
screenshot.
I sent the screenshot because I was like, I forgot the word. Just typing nonsense in a Discord message. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, it was like a really awesome moment. And apparently, Lane, his wife, is due around the time of Canadian Nationals,
which is potentially dramatic. Hopefully, she does not give birth during Nationals.
Though it would be it would just fit his sort of
chaotic career.
Final season. Wife gives birth during Nationals.
Yeah, but she probably won't be able to travel to it. So
unless where is Nationals this year?
I don't know. It's not in Alaska.
No, I was thinking they might travel before.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember where Nationals is.
And now I have to find this out. Excuse me. Bear with me.
Carry on talking.
It's in Oshawa.
So yeah. It's Oshawa. Okay. I obviously, again, there's a potential that Keegan may have hit his head in the short program as well, which again we don't like.
I thought he did
with that. He might have done. It was a very dramatic fall, and not the first time Keegan's had a dramatic fall. Last year he hit his chin. I remember that.
I remember.
Yeah. He seemed fine, obviously, because he carried on. And
he was very close to podiuming here. Unfortunately,
it was so close. It was incredibly close. While it would have been nice for him to get that podium in his last year, I am also very proud of Mateo, because he's had a very down few
years. Think it's going
to
make Keegan, I can't remember his next competition, but I think it's going to make him even hungrier for the next competition.
Right, it's probably one of the later ones.
Yeah.
Don't remember which one it is.
But yeah.
Any more about the men? Gogolev, Redemption Free Skate, very proud of him.
Yes, he had a rough short program.
It was a bad short program. I think he was two elements in and he had no points, and I was like, no, this is not
rough
good.
is maybe an understatement.
And then definitely, I think somebody said, I think it was somebody we follow on Twitter, that it's the best score he's had in the free skate since when he was a junior and was doing really well, 4 years ago. So on the upward trajectory, hopefully. I think it tends to be that he tends to have better shorts than frees in the last couple of seasons. So it's good to see him have a better free skate. Okay. Oh, he would be great in Sheffield. It's a shame he's not in Sheffield. They would love him in Sheffield.
Keegan's Grand Prix is Finland. There we go.
There you go. He's got some
Sorry,
time.
I had
work
to
with
find
people
that
about
out.
them. I had a feeling it was probably like NHK or Finland.
Yeah. Any other men we want to talk about? Happy for Lucas. He didn't have skates he wanted. He has France
he did
next
have a couple
week.
of that back-to-back is rough. Like for some of them,
time zone.
Some of them had back-to-backs from Skate America to Skate Canada, and that's not nearly as hard as Skate Canada France.
Yeah.
So yeah, good luck to him for that jet lag and getting prepared for that.
What else? I think that's men summed up.
Did you? Oh, we mentioned Dennis not having the best free skate.
Yeah.
It's
unfortunate.
It is. I know he's being very ambitious with his content this year. I think he said at Nepala that he's putting the quad in the short and the free. That's why I kind of thought this wasn't going to be the best result for him. Although when I saw that he was landing the quads consistently in practice, I thought, oh, maybe I'm going to be wrong. Maybe this is going to be a really good competition for him. And it's just not quite all being put together. So yeah, I hope he manages to sort it out. I would maybe suggest taking the quad out the short because it's putting you at such a detriment if you don't land it. And I'm pretty sure he's only had one clean quad in competition so far.
That sounds
which was the Nebelhorn one during the COVID year, I think.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think it was almost clean at Europeans, and he got like a fairly good mark on it, but it wasn't quite clean. But yeah, I think that might be the only one he's landed clean in competition. So I would maybe take it out of the short for now and just focus on trying to get it in the free. It didn't glide, no, Evelyn. Camden was also, I mean, it's going to be a kind of a steady progress for Camden, I think, because he's had so many changes over the summer, changing his coaching, going to New York and everything. It was definitely a fairly good result for him here. It wasn't obviously completely clean, and he would have obviously liked to clean a short program, but his free skate wasn't bad. But yeah, I don't think I expected him to land on the podium here because of those changes and the fact that, it's going to be progress. He's on a 4-year trajectory, there's a 4-year plan in place to get to the next Olympics.
And we had an interview published on our YouTube channel. You can check that out with Camden. It was recorded a few weeks ago now, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was put up last week. If you are interested in learning a bit more about his sort of off season and all the changes that's gone on. But yeah, I like his short program a lot. It's a shame about the pop in it.
Well, there were so many pops. Throughout the whole competition. I had to bring back the jopping meme. I had to bring back the jopping meme. It's been a while.
Do you say
meme? Meme. I don't know.
Meme?
Is
it not meme?
It is, but I don't know.
You said meme. That confuses me.
Don't call out.
I don't speak in public very often, so I don't.
I was like, if I could
words.
say this.
No, you haven't been saying it wrong. Most people say meme. It's like the whole GIF and GIF thing.
It's meme.
I think when I first saw the word in my head, I would say mem because I hadn't heard it pronounced like 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was. I would say mem, and then I would hear people say meme, and I just don't say it very often. So I just.
Meme's that old? This is a whole nother discussion. Sorry. Let's move on.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
No, just like the concept of meme for me is still like relatively new. Time is fake, but it's still relatively new.
I mean, when I say 15 years, I would have been 15. So yeah, that's pretty much the time of memes. I was going to say memes again. I was going to say it again now. Now you're making me self-conscious.
What year was it? 15 years ago?
No, like 2007. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Let's not think about it too much. So did we talk about everyone?
I think so.
We'll move on to pairs, I think.
I can go
my
on
time
about.
has come.
Your time has come.
My time has come. I will mess up all of these names. So in first place we have Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. In second place, we have Emily Chan and Spencer Howe. Thank you. And in third place, we have Sarah Conti and Nicolo Macchi or something.
Machi, however it's pronounced.
Machi? I'm not Italian. I don't know. I'm German. The Germans didn't do so well, so I
you
couldn't
plead the
find.
fifth, except you don't because you're German.
The Germans withdrew. That's actually a point.
Yeah, that's a shame. Obviously Elisa had, I think, a couple of rough falls in the short program, especially the throw. I think she nearly ended up in the boards.
Is that why they had to withdraw because of
the tagline said injury? They withdrew before the free. The tagline said she withdrew because of injury. And she looked a bit shaken up at the end of that program. He was being quite tentative towards her. Not tentative, considerate towards her is what I was trying to kind of, attentive. That's what the word. Not tentative, attentive. But she looked a little bit worse for wear. So I don't know if she was already carrying something before she got there, or if that made it worse. I don't know. But yeah,
so we got to see the debut of Riku and Ryuichi.
Obviously, she's
both
had
of
that
programs.
Shoulder injury that she got during the summer at a show, which obviously has put a detriment to their training for a couple of months. So they haven't had optimum training. But if you didn't know that and you didn't see the strapping, you wouldn't have known it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They were very clean.
Short program, it was the throw. She just managed to step out of it. I remember last year.
I'm just glad she didn't fall.
I think there was a collision into the boards at one point.
Oh yeah, because there's so much momentum in their throw that if she doesn't land it, she just gets whisked away to the boards because she just slides across the whole rink.
And then in the free skate, it was the combination jump error.
Yeah.
But other than that, flawless. Can we say?
Yeah, great. Also, lovely programs. Such good programs.
Love them.
I love the cover of "You'll Never Walk Alone" that they chose because obviously that.
I don't know how they came across that song or what the inspiration was. I don't know if
for us it's got a different context as British people.
Yes, but I saw someone say it's a Ted Lasso program on Twitter, and that just made me think.
Like a soccer song.
Yeah, the Liverpool.
Yeah, it's the
football
Liverpool team. Football team. "You'll Never Walk Alone" is their anthem or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't.
That was
how
my
we associate it. But it's a very different kind of cover. It's. I really liked it. I didn't have that association when I was watching the program. I didn't think this is the Liverpool song. I thought, this is a nice cover of that song.
Yeah, when I read the name, I'm like, oh, Liverpool. When I hear this song, I'm like, oh, nice.
Nice. And I love Sleeping at Last, so I really liked that.
And the official account tweeted about the program, which was really cool. I saw that
because she retweeted it, and I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Because I think this is a song that she's wanted to skate to for a while. I believe I read somewhere.
I love when artists notice skating programs with their music. It's really cute.
But yeah, I think the only other thing was them getting a level 1 death spiral in the free skate, which I don't know if that was a shoulder thing, if that was just
Maybe
one of those things. But I know they'll correct it. Megan's still listed on their coaching team. I know she'll have been on that straight away.
Megan will be on them for the spiral. And then obviously second and third were very close battle between Chen Hao and Kunti Machi. Literally 0.30 points between them.
I was Sarah and Nicola were in the mixed zone media talking when the scores were announced, just before the scores were announced, and then they said that, I think Nicola said that they saw they were only 0.30 points behind, and he was like, oh, that could have just been a level on a lift, that could the small things, obviously.
Ironically, I think they got level 4 on all of their lifts. I think I saw that on the protocol and I was like, no, you didn't miss any lift levels. I think that's just a throw fall or whatever, because they weren't entirely clean.
But obviously a great,
great competition for them.
Yeah,
There
and
were
I
a few
think
mistakes in Emily and Spencer's program, but they've had a lot of off-season injuries.
yeah,
So
which you
it's
can
not
also
unexpected.
watch an interview with them on our YouTube channel if you are interested.
Yeah, that one was
But yeah, I
released the week
think it
before
was
Camden's.
Spencer's shoulder, Emily's ankle, maybe.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So for a while they couldn't do lifts, and for a while they couldn't do throws. So it was, and jumps obviously. But yeah, they're working it out. They're getting there.
And in fourth place, want to shout out Brooke McIntosh and Benjamin Mimar.
In their first
because
Grand Prix.
Yeah, they partnered together February 2020. They had a few week tryout, and then obviously pandemic hit.
COVID.
Last season, we're heading for the Junior Grand Prix, but Brooke tore her hamstring, and then
they had to get their minimums. I think at Challenge
Bavarian.
Or Bavarian, might have been Bavarian.
Bavarian,
They had
I
to,
think.
like a junior competition, they had to do, and then got their minimums, and then they got to Junior Worlds, and they came bronze at Junior Worlds. So
Yes.
not the easiest start to their partnership, but it's all starting to, come together now.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a while for the Canadian pairs to sort of rebuild up with the junior pairs. But I think they are good teams, and
I know they're
good
aiming
prospects
for
ahead.
Worlds, which I was thinking earlier. I think they have 3 spots, don't they, at Worlds, because of
Possibly.
James Radford and
oh yeah, they got bronze, didn't they?
Walsh Michaud, yeah, because of Ashley and Timothy withdrawing. But yeah, and obviously Evelyn and Trent were in the top as well. So I think they might have 3 spots. I was thinking it was 2 earlier, but now I think it's 3. So that's gonna, yeah, there should be no problem with them making that world team. If you consider that Tiana and Maxim would be number 1, I think they would be number 2.
They do have 3 pair spots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to them in the future, definitely.
Yeah. And a quick shout out before we move on to what I assume to be fantasy. Plazas Fernandez had a much better second competition in the back-to-back than they had last week. They have great lifts. They still have to work out some of the throws and jumps kind of thing, but their lifts are really good. And I was because I was doing the world standings updates last night, the tweets, like in the middle of the night before I went to bed. And I was like so shocked. I think there's like 17th in the world, which is mad because they only just like had their first international competition like 2 months ago. So they've like shot up so quickly to like 17th in the world because they had like so many competitions.
Yeah, they've been working hard for that.
So depleted. And I know they said that they need a break because they've had like 6 or 7 competitions in a very quick amount of time. But I don't think they would have anything now until nationals, really. So they should be fine. A lot of time to work on stuff.
And I think like if anybody wants to talk about any other skater or any team, just put it in the chat. We can talk about it while we are talking about fantasy skating.
Yeah.
Because fantasy skating is going to start now. This is my segment. This is something I can talk about. We again, like last week, we picked our favorite names.
My favorite name of the week was Edge's flat as a pancake. We'll pretend maybe I was thinking of some skaters when I picked this name. I won't say.
Let's not mention.
Mine was Canada won Miku and Tyler because unfortunately they had to withdraw due to injury. But they are still like one of my favorite Canadian dance teams. There's a few,
and I hope
and I miss them, and I hope they are getting better.
Yeah, I just saw Evelyn's comment. We'll comment on that later. My favorite name was F and Twent deserved better because they do. They did. Unfortunately, they did.
R.I.P. to that team.
Yeah.
We're still sad.
We're still sad. Especially because they had such momentum. I remember when we released that interview.
And they were so hopeful.
Everybody was so hopeful.
No, we're going to be really upset if we talk about it because they were so hopeful.
I told them, like, you have so many people rooting for you. We're so excited for you. And then Nationals happened.
And Nationals was a farce.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on to happier things like
You have
men.
everything listed as
Like
Skate America
scores.
still.
I don't think I won any
Oh.
group this week.
Please
Oh my
ignore
god,
the
it's still
fact-
Skate America.
ignore that.
Ignore that. It's Skate Canada.
I obviously didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this because I'm always preparing the scores
Yeah, more time.
right
than
after the
this week.
competition. So yeah, Skate Canada, men. Yeah, there were a bunch of people who got it right. We are going to move on to what is fantasy
Congrats,
skating?
congrats to everyone who got that.
Yeah,
What is
congrats.
fantasy
everyone.
skating?
So it's a competition we have on our website where you can sign up, and each week during the Grand Prix you can pick your skaters out of a group of people, and then if the skaters win, you get points. Well, you get points anyway, but
Yeah.
I did
So
not explain it well.
basically, whatever the result the skater has, whatever points they get are your points, and you get some bonuses if they're on the podium. Yeah. So these are the people who all won the men's category, and we'll publish the full results in the next couple of days on the website. Ellie will anyway.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
And yeah, so and then they'll be totaled up as well between Skate America and Skate Canada's results as well, for the people who take part regularly.
It's a fun little game.
Yeah. And
we can play it for the third year now.
Did not do well. We kind of
Fourth?
We kind of
No.
might be fourth.
We haven't been around for 4 years.
Have we not?
No, that's true. No. It's probably third. Well,
That's like a lifetime.
I don't remember anymore.
Wait.
1920.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is our fourth year.
2021. Yeah.
It is our fourth year, but like 3 years.
1920, 2021, 21, 22, 22, 23.
I checked the website. It's 4 years.
And
This is
one
our
of them
fourth
kind
season.
of didn't really get off the ground properly because of COVID. Because
Yeah.
everything got cancelled in the middle of it. So
Yeah, 3.5. I would say that as well. Let's
Yeah,
read in the middle. It's 3.5.
we've been around for 3.5 years, but this is the fourth year of fantasy skating.
Okay. So yeah, Skate Canada men. A couple of people got it right. Congratulations. Men are always. You never know what to expect. So if you
I
get
did
this
not
one
pick
right,
Lucas, so I know I didn't get it.
I picked Lucas, but I did not pick Stephen Goglev. I'm so sorry for doubting you.
I picked Goglev, but I picked Dennis, and that was a bad choice. Sorry, Dennis.
I went with Conrad Orsel.
my favorite thing is during the competition to see all of the tweets mentioning fantasy skating and the
Yeah, it's fun.
the
Yes.
desperation, but also happiness because sometimes you pick people by brain, and then your
I
favorite
love that
wins. And you're like,
Evelyn is just writing our biography in the comments.
yes. Thanks, Evelyn, for reminding us.
My favorite thing is like just the people that I follow on Twitter. They'll screenshot like their teams and just talk about their teams and how they did, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah,
Commiserations, Amy.
lots of heartbreak.
Next time.
You were there. That's right. I changed it here. Look at it. I changed Skate Canada.
Consistency is key.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna go through Skate Canada now. The pairs. Because a bunch of people won. That's why I included the numbers. It's
How
still
many
going.
people won, did they?
It's still going.
It's like 200 and something.
Still going.
I think I got this right.
Oh, I think this is the same screenshot twice. But
I think I got this right. I think
you might be on here. There you are, Lois.
I am on there. That's me.
I didn't pick the
Italian.
Italians, so I did not get this right.
I want to do this slow enough for people to actually be able to read the names. But yeah, a lot of people got this right. Apparently, that was
did
easy.
you pick Brooke and Ben?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
That's valid. What, you picked Lucas and Laurie Kellyanne?
Oh, I don't remember. We'll
I
move
mean-
on. It's not important. I failed. We'll move on.
Evelyn, please, you have to start doing it.
Evelyn, yeah, please.
Um,
We'll
number one.
remind you if we have to.
we promised to remind her last week and we didn't. So
True.
that's all
We're
right.
busy. We're busy. We have other things to do.
Are you on
Open or
there?
not?
Amy, are you on there?
Amy, are you on there?
Amy.
Tell us.
Oh wait,
Tell us your name.
yeah, Bad Boys Con Unum, the second one from top. I was not pronouncing that.
Hey.
last.
Oh,
That's her. I know that's her.
Yay! Congratulations to everyone who won this.
We'll pretend that like a third of people didn't win this category. Like 200 and something people won it. So yeah, I thought.
But yeah, ice dance was similar, I think.
I did so bad though. I did so bad.
Quite a few people got that. I feel like was ice dance and pairs more predictable?
Yes.
Potentially, yes. Yes. I think I just, out of spite, didn't pick Laura Lagac. And for some reason, I just thought the Israeli twins would do better than they did.
See, I thought these were my picks, but evidently they were not.
Well, next time. Oh, what did I do here?
Oh, these were my picks. I'm there. That's why.
Oh, good.
Are
You
these
did do
my
well.
picks? Did I messed this up somehow. You will get the results on Tuesday.
As long as you have it all right for like Tuesday when you put it up on the website.
Also, last week I messed up the ice dance score, so I'm so sorry for everybody who celebrated.
We had a couple of people DM us like, "That's not my score." And Elli was like, "I've got to go and check this."
Thank you so much for checking my math because it's necessary. It's very necessary. Yeah. I made some mistakes in the form, and that's why the scores got mixed up. And I feel so bad for everybody who celebrated the first place and then didn't have it after all.
It happens.
It happens.
It's first week anyway. Plus, there's a lot of stuff going.
Oh, this is continued. Oh, is Ruth on there?
Yeah,
she baby. Yeah. I don't know if she's here anymore. But...
And then this is my favorite, the women.
2 people. I know. I did not get this right. I mean, that's a hard one to pick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's impressive that 2 people got it right.
It is impressive because I, you know, only if you've been paying attention to how she's been doing would you have gone for Ava.
I think also a lot of people might not have gone for Rika because of her injury. That's why I didn't anyway.
I went for Johanna because I know she can do a comeback free and I know her free is good. So I thought if she does
I think that's why I went her.
Yeah, if she does it, if she had a competent short, which wasn't great, but
Amy, this is amazing.
Don't even know. Did in fact know.
This is an amazing segue because don't even know. God, I don't think this ever happened, or maybe it did happen and I don't have a good memory. They got full score. They have guessed every single one right.
They do know.
They do know quite a bit. Don't even know whoever you are. You won this week so hard. The highest available achievable score was 3,122. And
like,
don't even know about it.
What, like 15 options? Yeah, right. That's
if I
not
could do math or statistics, I would like the chances of guessing this right are pretty low, I think.
Oh yeah, because that's 15 correct answers.
Yeah, like play lottery this week. Don't even know.
Yeah, do it.
Do it, please. Let us know if you win.
Apparently you do know.
This was impressive. And we continue with overall scores because this week we are finally able to add up last week's and this week's scores, which I also did. And overall women.
That's very close.
That is very close.
It is very close. Yeah.
My delusions. Who are you?
My delusions right next to costo depression.
That. Yeah.
I also just love that we have continued to decide to pick chaotic names. Like nobody asked them to pick chaotic ones, but they continue to do it.
We love them if they do, because then we get to have a whole segment about it.
Shout out to Knife Shoes for...
They've definitely been around for a few years. Unless somebody else has used the same name.
Maybe.
Probably.
But yeah, that's a pretty great thing to have.
The men... I mean, yeah.
Great Escape, we've had a lot around for a few years as well.
Yeah. And like the first one is also pretty close again. So you can still win.
If from week to week, as long as your person doesn't withdraw, RIP.
Yeah, and for the overall score, you would have to play every week to have a chance. Obviously. But if you play every week, you have a good chance to land in the top 100 at least. And there's don't even know again. I'm gonna look
Oh,
out for
yeah.
them now.
Don't even know it's doing really well.
Yeah,
They
are.
know.
They
do
know. And overall pairs, there were quite a bit who got pairs right week
There's
after
less
week.
potential to get things wrong when there's only 3 categories.
Yeah, we only have 3 right.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the past years, or maybe because I'm not following along as much as I did.
Occasionally we've had 4, but not very often. Like if it's very hard to pull people apart, I'll do 2 per category, but we tend to go 3 in categories. So yeah, usually pairs will come out as a 3. Occasionally, very rarely, it'll be a 4.
But what I want to say is, like, in past weeks, years, it was easier to predict.
It's definitely harder to predict when there's so many new teams or new people getting onto the stage. Yeah.
And we got ice dance here. Congratulations. A lot of first places. A lot of people got this right 2 weeks in a row, which is impressive.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, all of the first 15 places all got it right 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, we'll say in terms of group 1s, I don't think there's a lot of hard predictions in terms of ice dance. You can mainly predict who's going to win each competition. So unless there had been an upset last week, which there probably should have been, most people would have picked Chocolates. Most people would have picked Piper and Paul this week. Most people would probably pick Queen Out February next week. There's people who you can assume will be number 1 in ice dance. And it's a lot less movement.
I would like to shout out Stationary Lift Base because they were one of the people who DM'd me about the wrong scores. And they did well again this week. So congratulations. This is your reward. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you for DMing me.
And RIP to whoever sent us a tweet saying they forgot to do their fantasy and asked if they could have bonus points. Sorry, we can't give you them. But
we would love to, but
we feel very sorry for you.
Yes. But we still have the overall, and the overall is the phone case.
It's great. That's a great
and they have quite a bit of a, like, that's a 24.
That's a little, there's a little bit of a gap, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a gap. And they've been has been around for a while. That's why Team Kriamina? Yeah.
Yes, I know Kay Weaves, no offense to saying this name, no offense to Kay Weaves herself. Kay Weaves' enemy number 1 was quite high last week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've done all right.
So yeah.
A memorable name.
Shout out Lauren for that one.
We still have some predictions to make for next week. So if you stick around now, you might get some tips.
You know, we are over the hour, so we probably shouldn't go too long on this.
Yeah, that's just...
If you're still here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to us ramble.
I was going to look
and if you do have anything you want us to answer, please feel free to ask us questions.
I will just say
DM us or message us.
People in particular to watch out for next week. So in the men, it's probably going to be a very intense battle because men are always chaotic, but you have Adam, who is obviously going to get a home advantage and is having a great, season so far. Had a little bit of a off competition the other week, I think at Nice, but mostly is doing very well. Then you have Kazuki and Sota and Senna for the Japanese men. Kazuki could easily win this, could also not, because you never know what Kazuki you're going to get. Sota has had a really good domestic season so far in Japan, really strong. I don't think he's not had any internationals yet, so you never know. And hopefully Senna will do a little bit cleaner than he did at Skate America last week. Seungli also could be really good because he obviously came second at Nebelhorn, and he's got some really good programs this year. Those are mainly the men to watch out for, I think.
Any injuries we have to be aware of when picking?
Well, obviously, Kevin withdrew, so he's got an ankle injury from Masters, and he's been replaced by... No, Kazuki's not had a stable outing yet this year. But when he can put it together, it's really good. So hopefully he can.
I think things to be aware of, Lucas is doing a back-to-back.
And he does have travel. So that might be rough on him. Other than that, let's not have my headphone fall out. That isn't great.
thought you just saw a name when you were
I was like, what's happening?
Ooh.
I think women is going to be an interesting
I think
battle.
I will assume Luna will win.
That's my thought, but we know she
However,
has been injured.
It could be Yellen. She's had a really good season so far.
Yeah. Luna has a back injury. I think she's had it for a while now.
She's had it for a long time now, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't always practice her spins. So it could just be like an on-the-day thing.
Anyway, so you never know. It's going to be interesting. Obviously Hines there again, but I don't know. She could be on the podium. I don't expect her to win unless somebody has a really bad skate. Mana also could be interesting. I really like her programs this year. From when we saw them, I think it was US Classic. But yeah, I'd say there are some frontrunners. No one's a real favorite. Reno hasn't withdrawn, so I assume she's feeling better, unless we're going to get a last-minute withdrawal. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. Pairs is down to 7 entries. They have not replaced. Who withdrew? I have forgotten. I don't remember.
God. The Chinese team.
Oh yes, Peng and Jin. Obviously, Peng and Jin withdrew, and they were not replaced because obviously it was with Thanksgiving. We had to melt down then with our brains, and obviously it was in the 2-week time frame, so they didn't have to replace them. And there's weird stuff going on with the French Federation right now behind the scenes, so I'm not surprised that they don't want to pay anyone else to come.
That's like a whole nother discussion.
That's a whole big thing going on. This is actually going to be really interesting because Safina and Beryl Neva haven't competed yet this year, and I have no idea what form they're in. So
where they are.
Anything of them? Or I assume they're still in Russia, but I have no idea. I know the department have moved to Germany. Yeah,
they have. They're in Berlin now.
So I want to say Deanna and Maxim will win this.
Yeah. I think they are the front runners. But Karina and Luca will have the sort of junior champion edge.
They also have
as
good,
well.
like obviously tech because they're kind of the Russian Georgian. And Giladi and Brasini we haven't seen since US Classic, but they were doing very well there. They were getting like almost personal best, I think personal best scores there. So it's interesting to see how they do, because obviously they're kind of the front runners for Italy right now. So
the 2 French teams are generally a bit lower in the markings.
Yeah, I mean,
you have the married Kovalevs.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ocean and Dennis are a new partnership.
And of course, are on a rise this year.
Yes.
They've been doing really well. They have a podium chance. I wouldn't say they were potentially in the front running race for this one.
I'd say they're on it depends on the free, but I'd say they have a bronze chance with the lineup.
I agree with that. When it comes to dance, we have already said Gwynedd Fabry are almost certainly going to win this.
I think the other podium.
They did have a cold a couple of weeks ago. I think they're fine. I assume they're fine.
I think other on the podium will be Fonya Bodri and Sorensen.
Yeah.
Though I assume they're going to be in the same group as Gwynedd and Fabry.
Yeah, they will be. I don't know who's going to be with them. It might.
I assume it'll be just them 2 alone.
It could be. I don't know what my groups are yet. I haven't done that preparation work. I think bronze might go to the Finnish team.
See, I was thinking of Genya and Jeffrey.
That's possible.
Because French home boost.
That's true. That is the home boost as well. It could. Yeah. If you say those top 2 will probably be in the same group, those 2 will probably be in group 2. I don't think he'll be with them. It might be. I don't know who I'm putting in the groups yet. It's going to be interesting to see between Peyton Bai and Wolfcost and Chen, because I think their best scores are very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's going to be
Georgi Rivera has.
We don't know. They haven't competed yet, but he's always injured.
I think I was going to say just assume he is injured, because last time we saw him, he had his hand and arm wrapped. And they've withdrawn
then,
from like every competition they've signed up for so far.
the
So
Federation head gave an interview about Team Georgia a couple of months back, if not 3 months back now, and I think mentioned like a knee injury or a back. We know he had a knee injury at one point because he had surgery and there was all this stuff going on. Might have been a
then he
back
had to
injury
have
as
another
well
surgery to correct.
because it was wrong. The man is always injured. He's like walking wounded. Yeah, so that I'd love to see what their programs are. I'm sure they're great. We still haven't seen them yet. Oh, also Lois and Theo here as well. I forgot about that. And they had a really strong Skate America.
Yeah, I think
these groups are going to
they
be interesting when I
ones
make
to
them.
watch.
When I make them, these groups are
And
going to
And
be
you can always
we are not at the top of the ranking. So take everything with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
You
You
never
never,
know
know
what
what's
to
going to happen.
and
It's
also
'cause
check out the
sometimes I go on
preview
vibe
for
rather than
some
what I know
extra
is better than-
information and scores.
Yeah, always look at scores for some interesting comparisons of how people are doing year to year.
Also, Evelyn has pointed out that she asked this twice now, and I will post the recipe to my Midnight Blues drink on Twitter.
Will you? Okay. We're doing Ellie's cocktail hour.
This is Ellie's cocktail hour. This is always the beginning of the segment.
She plans to have a cocktail book by the end of Grand Prix season.
I want to. That's the. I'm now determined to do one each week. So we will see. Okay. Anything
you,
else anybody wants to talk
else?
about?
I don't think is there any more questions? I don't think there is.
I have faith Ellie will have a book. I think so too. We will have a book. This is a team effort.
Long time coming.
I mean, I'm not much in terms of getting cocktails. I don't drink.
I can put some,
Mocktails are a thing.
Non-alcoholic ones.
True.
Okay. Thank
you
you
all for
so much
joining
for
us.
joining. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. If you aren't already, if you are, we love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And see you again. And don't forget to play fantasy skating, which should be up on.
Yes, I mean, it'll be up on Wednesday. Preview will be up probably tomorrow.
Scores will be posted on Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a tentative schedule in our minds for things. We also should have a new interview up tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that.
Oh my god, sorry, I panicked over which one. Yes.
No, yes, we should have it up tomorrow, hopefully. I think it's ready to go.
Yes. Okay, and a recap, I think, from Skate Canada.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Lots to look forward to. And see you again next week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.